So there are different types of players. I could spend the whole day talking about the different types of players, but this video is specifically for why women fall in love with players and the psychology behind these dudes. And trust me, if you're a girl that you're not ready for stress, you don't want to deal with these dudes. Unless you're the type who doesn't also want to be emotionally attached and you're just out for fun. But trust me, if you want something serious, a player is not a guy to mess with. He is not a guy to, in fact, he's a no. These men actually insecure, they're emotionally weak, and they have low self-esteem, but they mask it with confidence. They mask it with some kind of self-confidence that when you actually see him for the first time, you actually feel he's a very self-confident guy who is actually full of himself and sure of what he's doing, but deep down he has issues, he has insecurities, and it just takes a little bit of buttons for you to push to actually see this guy's insecurities, for you to actually smell it. Due to the fact that they have low self-confidence, low self-worth, and they have low self-esteem, they go out there looking for women to validate them. It's actually a way of boosting their ego. It's actually a way of feeding their ego. So they believe that the more women they can have, the more they can feel good about themselves. That's how the mentality of a player works. If I can date a lot of girls and this make all of these women fall for me, then it means I must actually be a very, very nice guy. I must actually be a great guy to get like 5 to 6 women fall in love with me at the same time. Trust me, that is how it works. It's a game. They make you and they break you. Players are very slick. They know the right words to say, the right things to do, the right places to take you to, and they just know the right buttons to press, to push, so that you can fall for them. And it's all a game. Trust me, it's nothing serious. He just has one thing in his mind: to get you and then to lock you in, or to trap you in, to make you and to break you. They know the right things to say, the right things to do, the right words to use. And us as women, we like when a guy actually makes us feel good about ourselves. Like, you like when a guy actually flatters you, he tells you all those nice words, all those sweet things. Like, you get up to morning messages, you get up to flowers, to gifts, he surprises you with gifts. He is doing all that to trap you and mess you up. And when he's done, you become a storyteller, a motivational speaker on your status, because you were so blind to know the red flags, or to see the red flags. Truth be told is, you can still know all the signs and you end up getting played. Getting played is something that happens even to the best of us. So I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just here to enlighten you guys and make you guys understand the psychology behind these dudes, and to understand the reason why most women always fall for the wrong men and always find themselves in this toxic circle. So in the beginning of a relationship, he's always there for you. Trust me, in the beginning, he's always there for you. He makes sure he calls you, he texts you, he sends you all these nice messages, he tells you all the things, he says all the right things at the right time, he does all the right things, and he actually takes you to the right places. He surprises you with dinner dates, lunch dates, outings, gifts. He just actually spoils you from the beginning. And then throughout the beginning of the relationship, we always call it the honeymoon stage, when you guys are so in love and you're still very excited about the whole relationship, in quotes. He's still being the sweet gentleman. He's still faking his attitude as a gentleman because he wants you to fall for him or to get emotionally attached. When you finally get emotionally attached, the mask falls off. The real person behind the mask starts to show. You start seeing what you got yourself into. And trust me when I tell you this, it's a very bad experience. You never want to wish that for any woman out there. They are also very sensitive people. Players are very sensitive guys. They are able to sense when you're vulnerable. They are able to sense when you're insecure. They are just able to smell your insecurities. And they are going to work on those insecurities. They like to study you, to know your weaknesses and your strength. If they could actually just wish they could read your mind, to know what you're thinking, to know how to get you. And it's always very important you don't just tell a guy everything from the beginning of the relationship. And you never pour out your feelings to a guy, because most of these guys, the moment you start pouring out your feelings to him, he starts changing, he starts behaving, he just turns into something else. So he actually studies you from the beginning of a relationship, to know what makes you happy, what makes you sad, to know all your soft spots, and he starts pressing those buttons. He starts pressing it, and he's manipulating you, playing you like a puppet. He just keeps giving you that back and forth treatment. Today he's sweet, the next day he's cold, the next day he's distant, and out of a sudden you see him all loving and caring, and you actually think that you're dealing with a bipolar patient, especially if you're dealing with a player. Sometimes you feel like he's bipolar, but trust me, it is issues. They have issues. They're dealing with a lot of issues. So the guy actually prevents himself from becoming emotionally attached to you because he's been hurt before. That's just the bottom line of it all. The guy has been hurt, so he's trying to build a defense mechanism where he's not going to fall for another woman and she hurts him, or he's just avoiding any situation where he's going to be vulnerable. So the best defense mechanism for him is to be a player. Today he's with A, today he's with B. If I can date all these women, then I prevent myself from being emotionally attached to any of them. Because that is why you see him in a lot of relationships. He's dating a lot of women. Today, Monday is for Kelly, Tuesday is for Sonia, Wednesday is for Blanche, Thursday is for whosoever he's dating. But trust me, once you understand the psychology behind these men, you actually feel sorry for them. You actually feel pity for them, because there are guys who have actually been broken but don't know how to heal. They don't know how to vent. They don't know how to move on. Get over it, my man. You were played. Yes, you were broken. Heal, move on, and find love. Because everybody is worth deserving of love. Like you deserve love. You don't need to stay broken just because one person hurt you. You give that person so much power over you. And most of these guys, they always have mommy issues. Check, for example, guys who grew up in dysfunctional families. Most of the times they have mommy issues. They always turn out to be players or toxic men. And it's all the root is from their childhood. The root is from how they grew up. The root is from the environment in which they surrounded themselves with. So I actually feel pity for them. I'm not going to judge anyone in this video, but I'm just enlightening my girls out there to be smart, to be very, very smart, because these guys will play you. They will play the shit out of you, and you do nothing about it except cry and vent. They are going to play you like they play the video game. And since they always try and avoid situations where they get emotionally attached, you find them dating 5 different girls and actually driving the 5 women insane. Because today the other girl is like, she wants him all for herself. The other one is trying to get his attention. The other one is trying to be all wifey. You see a lot of women fighting over them. So the best way for you to be able to stand out is not to chase, because that's the game. He gives you all this attention so that in return you start begging it from him. He acts like the drug and you're the addict. But no, honey, we are the drug and you're the addict. He gives you attention, more of it from the beginning. He gives you love, he gives you care, he showers you with gifts. And that is in the beginning stage, because he wants you to be addicted to all those things. And then with time, he takes it away. So you're now the one chasing him. You're now the one giving him attention. You're the one calling. You're the one texting. You're the one spoiling him with gifts. You're just doing too much. You're doing the opposite of everything he was doing from the beginning. That's where he wants you to be. And when he finally discovers that he's got you where he wants you to be, he starts messing you up. He starts playing all those mind games that can actually drive you crazy. he starts playing those mind games that can actually drive you crazy, and you're just like messed up, and you finally realize that at the end of the day you were played. But what do you do about it? That is the bottom line of it all. What do you do when you realize that you're being played? The reason why women fall in love with players is because a lot of women who fall in love with players are women who suffer from self-esteem issues. Maybe you have low self-worth, you don't know your worth. Most of the times, a lot of women don't know their worth. When you know your worth, you won't settle for less. You don't know your worth, and you suffer from self-esteem issues, and you sort of act loud like the player. You want him to validate you, you want him to make you feel good about yourself, you want him, since from the beginning he showed you all the love, showed you all the care, all the attention. You always just feel he made you actually feel good about yourself from the beginning. So when he takes it away, you just find it so hard to move on with your life that you keep fighting for what had been. You keep fighting for the same attention, you keep fighting for the same care, for the same love, because you were actually using him as a source of validation. You allowed him to validate you, and his self-worth, you took your self-worth and you put it in his hands. And if he's crushing it, it makes you feel less of a human being. You should be able to know your worth, and you should be able to know your worth in such a way that when a guy doesn't know your worth, or when a guy doesn't value you, you should be able to leave a guy at any moment in your life. Have high standards. You should never be so emotionally attached to a guy that you lose yourself. You should never be emotionally attached to a guy so much that he is able to control how you feel about yourself. You should know your worth. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of women fall in love with players, a lot of women fall in love with toxic men. And even when you realize that he's toxic, and even when you notice that you're in the wrong relationship, you're still holding on to him because you haven't realized your worth. Sometimes it's because you feel like you're not deserving of love. No, every human being on planet Earth is deserving of love. You deserve love, and you deserve to be with a guy who is not going to drive you crazy with mind games and treat you like you're just an option and not a priority. You deserve to be with a guy that actually makes you feel good about yourself. Another reason why we as women fall in love with players is because we love a challenge. We just love a challenge. And what players do is they leave you confused. You never know how much he feels about you. You never know if he really likes you. You never know the extent to which he likes you. And that's where he wants you to be. And we as women, we love a challenge. We always love to prove ourselves to the guy, to actually tell the guy that you can love me, you fall in love with me, I'll do everything for you to fall in love with me. And when you keep challenging yourself to make that guy love you, or to make that guy emotionally attached to you, you actually find yourself falling deeper for him, and you find yourself being trapped in this web of emotions, and you don't even know how to control them. Players actually love leaving you confused. They don't want you to know how they truly feel about you. So you fall in love with toxic men like players because we love a challenge, and they just challenge us. They make us feel like we are never good enough. They make you feel like you're never good enough. They make you feel like you can't have them all for yourself. So all the time you find yourself trying hard, doing all these things so that the guy should love you, but at the end of the day you just find out that you're getting yourself more trapped, and actually getting yourself addicted to the thought of wanting him to fall in love with you. And honestly, if you have to sweat that much to make a man fall in love with you, you should start questioning yourself if you're even with the right man. You shouldn't beg for love, and you shouldn't buy love either. You shouldn't play games for a guy to love you. What is meant to be is meant to be. Working on your insecurities. If he knows that, say for example, you have an insecurity which probably is acne, you have a lot of acne on your face, and he just works on it. You have a lot of acne on your face, try to work on that. It makes you look ugly, or he tells you things like you're looking too fat, you should go to the gym, you should cut down, and he starts working on all of those insecurities, and he knows that these things you're insecure about. Trust me, a guy who loves you will never make you feel insecure about yourself. He will never put you in a state of feeling confused. Men are natural born chasers. So if he's not chasing you, and if he's not making you feel good about yourself, it's probably because You don't mean as much to him as you think. Another reason why women fall in love with players is because you're desperate for love. You're just desperate for love. You just want to feel love. So anybody that shows anything that seems like love to you, you take it. You settle for less because you're so desperate. You just want to feel loved. And trust me, being desperate is for love is one of the worst things any woman can be in, because you will find yourself entangling yourself with a lot of these guys that are actually the wrong men, because you're so desperate for love. When a guy feeds you crumbs, you take it, because players are good at that. They feed you with crumbs and you're just excited. You're just taking it like, oh my god, I've been waiting for this. But trust me, every woman deserves to be loved in the right way. You deserve to be spoiled. You deserve, we were born to be cared for, to be loved, to be respected, to be treated like queens, because we are queens. So you don't need to have this guy treating you like you're some sort of slave or you're just an option to him. Nope. You should learn not to settle for less. Another reason why women fall in love with players is competition. You're just excited about the competition. You just like to compete with other women for a guy. You feel like if I can have him, since he's hot in demand, then I'll feel better about myself. It still goes back to self-worth, to lack of self-worth, because you start feeling like if I can compete with all these other women and I have the guy that they want so bad, then it means I must really be that chick. But trust me, you don't need to compare with any other woman for a man. You don't need to. You should be so self-confident in such a way that nothing about another person should make you feel less of yourself. You're dating a guy, and because you are just so excited about the fact that I am the main chick, you ignore all the red flags, you ignore all the toxicity, you ignore all the bad things he's been doing to you, the cheating, the lies, the manipulations, the games, all the numerous women you have been seeing him cheating on you with, just because you're excited and carried away about the fact that you're the main chick. It still boils down to you loving competition. You love to compete with all these other women for the guy's love, for the guy's attention. It still boils down to your insecurity. It still boils down to your self-worth, because you feel like if I can do anything for these girls to beat these other girls in a competition, for him to fall in love with me, then I must actually be that chick. You feel like if he can pick you, then you feel more of a woman. But trust me, you also have issues. You should never let yourself be so carried away that you fail to understand what you deserve. You should never love a man so much that you settle for less. You should never love a man so much that you ignore the truth about him. Because if you love a man that is toxic and you're so addicted to him, you shouldn't put yourself in a situation where you have to compete with another woman for a man. Nope, you should be that chick. You should be that chick, with or without a man. You should slay, you should rock, you should live your life. Trust me. And the last reason why women fall in love with players is we just ignore the red flags. We ignore the red flags. We ignore the signs. From the beginning, when the guy starts showing you red flags, you should start taking mixed signals for a no. If you're not sure about his feelings, if he is not making things clear to you, then you should know very well that he's not serious. And most of the times, when a guy tells you, I like you, but I don't want a relationship, please run. When I mean run, I say run. For you to be able to avoid falling in love with players is, first, you should guard your heart. You need to guard your heart, guys. Protect your heart, because there are a lot of emotionally unavailable men out there. There are a lot of them, and they are out to break you. They are out to just... There are men who have taken it upon themselves to mess women up. And trust me when I say this, you should be able to guard your heart. You don't just give out love too easily, and you don't just fall in love too easily. And trust me, when you encounter a player, play the same game he's playing. Two can play that game. If he gets up and he's giving you hot and cold treatment, give him the hot and cold treatment. Whatever he gives you, you give. Whatever he takes, you take back. That's how the game works. You guys can judge me that I'm saying you play the player, but he wants to play games, right? Two of you can play the game. Both of us can play that game. You give, I give. You take, I take. That's how it works, my nigga. That's how it works, honey. We will play the game together. Okay, guys. So you need to first of all guard your heart, protect your heart from falling in love with the wrong guys, because if you give out a lot of love to the wrong guys, when the right guy will come, you'll be so broken in such a way that you will not be able to love him. So you should guard your heart. You should be very careful with the men you invest emotionally with, because these men can actually make you and they can actually break you. I didn't have the time to do makeup. I didn't have the time to lay my edges. I didn't have the time to do any of that. I was just inspired to do this video, so you guys shouldn't kill me in the comment section below for looking all messy, but all the same, I still look cute. I still look cute. With or without makeup, I still look cute. That's the self-confidence I want you guys to have. I hope this video was helpful to you guys, and I hope you guys learned something from this video, especially for my women out there. Those of you who are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Connect with me on Instagram at Bougie Star by Sunny, and trust me, you really want to connect with me on Instagram. So until my next video, bye, love you.